Welcome to a very special edition of Talk of the Town. My name is Philip Swicegood, and I am back this week with my good friend, Dr. Harper from Vein Specialist of the South, here in beautiful downtown Macon, Georgia. Now, Dr. Harper and I, we've had some great guests in the past on this show, but this week's guest is a little bit special because we are interviewing the mayor of Macon-Bibb County, Mayor Lester Miller. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today.
So I stayed up last night and I actually did the math. You have been in office 167 days, and I don't think you have wasted any of those. It seems like every time that I open the newspaper or turn on the TV, there's something new that you are doing to push Macon-Bibb forward. And we want to get into some of the specific policy things that you're doing. But first, as a public figure in Macon, what's something that people probably don't know about you?
Well, I think there's probably a lot they don't know about me. Number one, been married 32 years to my wife, Toby. One interesting fact is for 32 years, we've never been separated, not one night.
Wow.
And we're very intentional about that. And when she had the baby, I was there with her at the hospital, stayed there every night. We travel out of town, we go to the same places. When I went to take the bar exam, she went with me to take the bar exam. When our kids went on 7th grade field trips to Washington, D.C., we both rode the bus together. We both stayed together there. So I think that's probably something. Most people know I'm kind of a baseball guy, sports guy. You know, a lot of people know my story here, but those are some, I guess little interesting facts about me personally with my wife. And I have 2 boys. I'm a double bear. So, I kind of get out and mingle with the people out in Macon-Bibb County in the neighborhoods. I think they know a lot about me. Some things are still private, and some things will probably come out throughout the campaign where I give them a little bit more about myself.
Wonderful.
So, Mayor, my wife and I are committed to downtown since we moved here in '79 into Macon, and we enjoy some things about downtown, particularly and about our community, the arts, whether it's fine arts or music, heritage. We like to eat out in the great restaurants and be with our friends. So what are some things that you and your family find that you really enjoy about living in Macon? And
Well, we've been living here our entire lives. My wife and I graduated from high school together, so we were Southwest graduates in 1987. Raised both of our boys here in Macon. We really enjoy going out to the movies together. We go to Amerson Park. We really enjoy that. The sports is a big thing in our lives. So we'll go to Macon Bacon game. We'll go see Macon Mayhem, of course. And we love to do things like that together as a family. My son plays football at Mercer, so he's on the football team, and we certainly go support all the Mercer games. But we really like to do that. We probably visit most all the restaurants in downtown Macon, and if there's a show at the auditorium or the Coliseum, we like to catch that. So Macon has a lot to offer. It's offered our family a lot, a good place to live and raise and enjoy your, raise your children. And we want them to stay here. Both of them graduating from Mercer, and hopefully will stay here and raise their families here. So there's a lot to do, and there's still a lot to offer everybody.
good. Yeah, we see some Mercer activities and other things around downtown. It's always good to see
Mercer basketball, we're there at those games. So
yeah.
we enjoy it.
Great. So running for mayor is a full-time job in and of itself, and then being mayor is obviously a full-time job, and you have lots of demands and lots of stresses on you. What was it that made you want to run for office, and what are some of your top priorities that you're really focused on in office?
Well, I did run for mayor for almost 3 years, so it's been almost like a term already for me, attending all the meetings and things of that nature. I was on the school board serving there. I served 8 years there and president the last 3 out of 4 years. And really, I think at some point in time you kind of hit the wall as a political figure when you serve that long. It's time to get fresh ideas in, new people involved. And, I appreciate bringing Dr. Jones here, and I knew I'd signed him to a long-term contract to be there. And really the mayor's position came open. Robert Ricker was here for 13 years. And that position became available, and I started looking around to some of the leadership that I thought may run, and I thought, well, maybe I could offer myself. I had some support from other folks who said, hey, you may want to run, and although you have 12 years that you could serve on the school board, I felt like 8 was enough, and certainly I sat back for a while, looked at who announced that they were going to run the race in the very beginning, and felt like that I could offer the people another choice. Some of the initiatives that we took on immediately was those that we heard throughout the community, trash, blight, crime, mental health. These things came directly from the people. Through our transition team, we developed some ideas, some action plans. And we decided that we were going to hit the ground running on day one, and we did that, just like the Brookdale Warming Centers. It's some of those things that we heard from the people. We had the resources to work with, and we put them in action. One thing I tell people each day is before I got to be mayor, I could think about ideas all the time. We could create some things we thought would be good for our community, but I really had no power to do anything about it. As mayor, when I have that wake-up call in the middle of the night and I write something down, the next day I can start a new initiative where we start exploring the opportunities. So that's some of the best things that we can do about being a mayor, and those initiatives are something we're proud of.
We appreciate you putting yourself out there, because it's easy to have ideas but just not be willing to get in the middle of things, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. So thank you for that. And there are a lot of people who are easy to criticize, and there are a lot of people who want to join in and be part of the answer to the problems and solutions. And so I wanted you to share with us how folks who want to see Macon-Bibb grow and prosper could partner with you and the city government and county government to move us forward. So tell us how the average person like me and my wife can help.
I think they can continue to reinforce the positive things we're doing. One thing people at home can do for nothing is just be positive. Start a positive post about Macon-Bibb County, about the things you love to do here and enjoy here. Visit our parks, our museums, and participate in those processes. Volunteer your time, help pick up trash. Picking up trash is one of our big initiatives, because the first thing people see when they come to Macon and get off the exit is their first impression. Right. And if it's overgrown, if it's trashy, those are things they remember. They may not come back here again. Right. So people can help pick up trash. They can join organizations, but really I think they can promote Macon.
I think that you've done a very good job in taking practical steps moving forward. Kind of like you were talking about cleaning up trash off the side of the road. That's something very tangible and very simple that clearly makes Macon look better. You had an initiative, I think it was a couple months ago now, about picking up political signs that were expired. That just makes Macon look better, and whenever people are driving through, it leaves a better impression of Macon, and that's so important. Another one of those things is you've been very aggressive with blight. I think you're doing something now where it's almost a house a day that you're going after with blight. Tell us about that and why it's so important to you.
Well, blight touches all areas of Macon-Bibb County, and it's no secret that when you ride through some of the neighborhoods we have some very big challenges. We've been very fortunate to be able to do 30 houses in 30 days. Wow. We've actually done 40 in about 40 days now, and we're doing it a lot more efficient, a lot less expensive than before. Generally, it cost previously about $23,000 a home to tear down. We're doing those for about $7,500.
Wow.
And we've been making sure that all the money that we have from the blight tax, from the code enforcement fees, from the subsequent tax sales goes into one account, so we have a steady flow of cash there to be sustainable. So it's also part of the crime initiative. If you overlay the map between crime and the heat map for poverty and the heat map for blight, it's one and the same. Where you have blight, you also have crime. When we went out to some of these sites, what did we see? We saw stolen merchandise, drug paraphernalia, evidence of drug transactions, prostitution, fires, arsons, illegal dumpings. I mean, it all attracts it. And if we have a child who walks down the street each and every day to go to high school and they see the same burned out structure or the same illegal dump, what message does that send to them about the hope we have in the community, or that we are invested in them? So, it creates a situation for them where they have a sense of hopelessness. And what does that tell them? Should I obey the law? Should I go to school? Do people care about me? And it's a mindset. So blight is important for those reasons, but also for economic development. We shouldn't have to go down certain roads when we bring a new prospect to Macon-Bibb County for a business. We shouldn't have to avoid certain areas. What does that say about our community? So I tell people all the time, when I'm having a very good day, and we've had a good week, we had our bond rating raised by 2 levels, upgraded. Wow. To AA minus. We had a budget that passed unanimously, first time ever, by all the commissioners without any changes.
Really? Wow.
We had this MVP, Macon Violence Prevention Initiative, launched. We've had many great things. So when we get up on this high and we think we're having a great day, I get in my car. Sometimes I'll take my county manager and some staff, and we'll ride off a Houston Avenue, and we'll find about 8 blighted houses in a row, and a lot of cars in the area, or we'll find a trash pile to kind of remind ourselves that we haven't got there yet. We haven't arrived, and we have much work to do. So we want to be humble, but we want to keep working every day. We're going to work hard every day, and that's one thing. I'm never going to be the smartest person in the room. I take pride in that, but you're going to have a hard time outworking me. I tell people I live every day like it's my last day because it may be my last day, and I want to get everything I can because we're not promised tomorrow. Right. And I'm going to keep doing that, and then they're going to have a hard time catching that with me in this office, I can promise you.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. The budget was passed unanimously. That's a sign of some cooperation among the representatives of our county and city, and that's encouraging. Are we seeing that come around?
I think so. I think if you look at, we haven't had one measure, and I'll knock on wood, we haven't had one measure that has failed. Right. About 167 days, probably well over 150 resolutions and ordinances, and they've all passed. Right. Most of them unanimously, some of them, 80, 90%. But we want to make sure we build consensus first. I have an excellent relationship with all the commissioners. Not all the commissioners on this board supported my candidacy. Some of them have been open about that prior to my arrival. But we're all part of the same team now. We all want the best things for our community, and we're going to move forward. We're going to have our differences, but it's important that we work those things out together and not air it out in the public. Right. We want to make sure that when we come out in the public, we're united on the front. We can have our disagreements, we can have our healthy debates, but in the end, when we vote, that's the vote. Right. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to respect everybody. And I think so far has worked out. Right. The OLOS is another one of those things. We haven't talked about that, but for 3 to 4 years, that was on the ballot. Well, actually, it was actually on the agenda of resolution here. Went to Atlanta and couldn't get even to crossover day. Mm-hmm. This time that we had, we took it upon ourselves, and I know I tried to leave the effort for this, but the first meeting we had, we got a unanimous resolution from this commission. I've been to Atlanta multiple times talking to local delegations. Mayor Pro Tem Seth Clark and myself was there each time they took a vote to make sure that our local delegation knew this is important to us. We were there when they walked out the door each time they had to look at our face. It had some challenges, but it passed 165-1 from the House, and it passed the Senate. And now on November 2nd of this year, the citizens of Macon-Bibb County will have the opportunity to give themselves the largest tax decrease that our county has ever had.
Wow.
So we think that's a great economic factor for us, but also it's going to roll taxes back by 35%, and it's going to fund the second part of our pay scale to not only recruit the very best officers in public safety, but to retain them as well.
Right. Wow. Good. One of the hardest aspects of the job is getting all the county commissioners on the same page. So, congratulations in and of yourself for being able to do that. One thing on a more serious note, shortly after Christmas, 2 people in our community that were experiencing homelessness unfortunately passed away. And in the vein of not wasting any time, I think you had only been in office a couple days, and you were getting the Brookdale Warming Center set up. Can you tell us about that and what you were able to do? Sure.
Those experiencing homelessness was always on our priority list, but it wasn't the top priority. Honestly, we had other things in line, but when those 2 gentlemen died froze to death on Christmas, it really made an impact on myself and others, and we knew we had to do something immediately. And it's actually before I even got sworn in, I called the group together of about 30 people in the bunker that we call it for EMA, and we assembled everybody that could come and did Zoom for the rest and said, this is not acceptable, we got to do something about it. And everybody started talking about these strategic plans for 6 months, 12 months, what we're going to do. I said, we're going to do something in about 4 days. And they thought I was crazy, and the next day I said, we're going to meet tomorrow at the same time next day, and these are the issues we need to address, and let's come back with a report tomorrow. Keep in mind, I'm still not the mayor, but these people will know that I'm going to be sworn in soon. We come back and the next day, and we've already got school at Brookdale. We've already got Salvation Army going to do the food, and we've already talked to the health department. We said, we're going to come back tomorrow for this day, and we're going to do this. And we kept moving along. Would not take no for an answer. And shortly after I was sworn in, we opened up the Brookdale Warming Center. Been very successful. We've served about 500 people there. We have about 155 regular. Many people have gotten jobs, reunited with their families, got the help they need through mental health. A lot of veterans have gotten the support they need, and we're proud about that. And now we've purchased that building from the school system for a reasonable price. And we're going to have a long-term facility there that we hope we're going to be able to sustain for many years to come in the very near future. It's going to be a great asset to Macon-Bibb County. We're in the center of the state. We're at I-16, 75 corridor. People are going to come to Macon that have homeless issues. But at the same time, I keep telling people that say we don't want to be a mecca for homelessness. But the problem is, to me, when you say that, is when that man or woman is on the battlefield, fighting, risking their life to protect our country, do we ask them what county you're from, what city you're from? No, you're fighting for the United States of America. So we shouldn't turn our back because you live on a different county line than we do. We want to help them. They can grow them. We can get them jobs and resources. They're human beings. And we have to remember that you can be both passionate, compassionate, and businesslike. That's what I tell my people from downtown who had issues with people downtown loitering and causing issues. And we got rid of some of that in the same day on Poplar Streets. And we had a place for them to go. But you can be businesslike by taking care of business and cleaning up the issue, and be compassionate by providing them a place to be at. So it's there 24/7, 3 meals a day. We're going to move beds in instead of cots. And we're going to have a process from stage to stage where people will start there, they graduate through the process, and at the end we want them to transition into housing. That's the ultimate goal. We're not going to let somebody stay there a year and do nothing. They're going to graduate through goals, and that's going to be getting help with your issues. If we need to give you a bus ticket back to home where you're from another state, we'll do that. If we need to have you hooked up with services through the Vector or Veterans Project, we're going to do that. We're going to get you on a waiting list for HUD housing if that's necessary. Right now, we're getting jobs. We have work that the county needs to do, and we've got a temporary services agencies, and we're asking those to consider people at the warming center, and they are hiring them.
Wow.
So we're making great progress there. We continue to, make it better. When I've been speaking to people across the Southeast United States that have called me since that, and they say, how many years have y'all been working on this program? How did you get everybody to come together on one area? What are you using for funding? I said, we stepped out on faith because we know we can do better, and our people came together and we rallied. And now we're all on one accord because it's the right thing to do. And it's easy to build consensus when you're doing something that everybody agrees with, and it's the right thing to do. So that program's only going to continue to get better. It's going to make Macon better, and I think it's going to make our community better. And when we come together like that, it goes across all kind of racial issues that we may have or differences that we may have, gender, pay, all those things come together because when you go out there, and I have been out there on plenty of occasions, you have children there from 10 months to 18 years of age.
Wow.
The school system have brought virtual learning out there to them with a tutor. But you have male, female, black and white, all kind of sexual identities, preferences. People don't look at that. They look at the fact that we're trying to help a person in need. So I think that's a great benefit that we have to kind of rally around, and our community has stepped up to the plate.
Is that something to where, are they in need of donations? Are they in need of volunteers? And if so, where can people go to find out more about that?
Yeah, you can, United Way has led the effort on a lot of that. You can volunteer there. You can donate money there. You can agree to get your faith-based organization or your organization to come there to help serve food on the weekend. It always helps us save money when you do that. We have a couple of projects coming up for them. We always take water. Water is the basic necessity. Bottled water, we can always use that, and prepackaged snacks, we can use that. So there's always a way to help there. You can reach out to the Brookdale Warming Center as well. We're going to change the name of that, pretty soon here because we did it because it's cold. But the last thing we could do, we only signed a 90-day deal with the school system to start with, is, we couldn't let ourselves after 90 days put those folks back on the street again that wasn't ready to go back.
Yeah.
And now it's getting hot. They don't need to be out there in the hot weather all the day. We want to give them a reasonable alternative. So we're very proud about that. I think it's going to be a model for many states and many counties in Georgia are looking to our model to use some of their structures they may have had, abandoned school or something like that, or repurpose something in their neighborhoods to kind of be compassionate and help people out.
Wonderful.
I've always looked at Macon having so much potential, and I'm excited to see a lot of initiatives that are happening. When you look at our location in the center of the state with 1675 corridor, you look at the regional airport, which has a lot of potential for, I think, flights, but also a shipping center, FedEx and that kind of thing, with Amazon's opened up out near there. We look at the advances that happened with the tragedy of '94 with the flood and the great water. Really great, was rated like the best water in the country, right? As far as it tastes, but the volume of water we could offer to industry, it seems like it's exciting to see that maybe the pieces are falling together, that we can parlay that into success that we struggled with a long time because we know that the potential's there. The improvement in the schools with Dr. Jones coming on board and the school board working on that. What are your ideas, just a few, on a long-term process that you and your team and the council have been talking about?
Well, we certainly need to continue to have great economic development. I think one thing we have done is brought the Industrial Authority and the Chamber of Commerce together and realized that we have to do this together. Our workforce development is a key. I don't know if you noticed, but during my first 6 months, we took a lot of field trips for our, I call them site visits, for our commissioners. Number one, it gets them out of this chamber. It gets them more closely riding on the van together, eating together, building a good relationship, fellowshipping together, but also getting their boots on the ground to put their eyes and ears out into the community. We went to the old Brown and Williamson so we could see that area there. Went out to the airport with Dean Baldwin, which is going to be huge for Macon-Bibb County. I mean, we were talking about economic development. That's going to be the engine that helps out a lot with the runway extension. They would need to see that, but they needed to hear from John Deere and from Flint, the Caterpillar. We need to know, what are your needs? They said, we have 100 positions. We have 50 positions that we need to hire. We need workforce development. We need the students to know this. We need interns. We need to get to hear that so we can go to the school system and say, we need this at our College and Career Academy. So we've been traveling to different places like that so they can hear what's going on. Convenience centers, we've been out to convenience centers in different parts of county. We went out to Monroe County and looked at theirs. We can use best practices and do that in Macon-Bibb County. We went to Houston County and went to their fire training facility, and we're going to do one just like their fire training facility because they did it right. I don't have any shame in my game when you want to do best practices. If you're doing something right, no sense for me to reinvent the wheel. So we've been very good about that. We have many economic developments, other initiatives coming that I can't get into now, but all parts of Macon-Bibb County are going to be taken care of. I love downtown. We have a vibrant downtown. It's going to continue to grow. We have other areas of Bibb County we're going to have to lift up if we're all in this together. And we have a plan for each and every part of our community, and we're very excited about the economic possibilities that we're going to have to give everyone a living wage, more than a living wage, and offer opportunities so our young kids can go straight into the workforce when they get out of school.
Awesome.
So, Dr. Harper, we've done almost a dozen of these interviews by now. What started as a small social media show is clearly growing. I mean, we were able to get the mayor on, so we're clearly heading in the right direction. And we keep having conversations with people around town who are investing in Macon-Bibb. Why is that so important to you, and why is it so important to vein specialists of the South?
Thanks for the question. I mean, first, let me say that this show is to promote other people in Macon, and to help lift other people up. We have that platform because we've been really blessed with opportunity here and been very successful, and we're very thankful for that. From the time that my wife grew up here, she went to Southwest a few years before you were there.
Go Patriots.
And she was a cheerleader over there when the basketball team was pretty awesome. But we were committed to come here out of medical school. We chose to be at the medical center for my surgery residency. We could have left, but we prayed hard about it, and this is where we felt like God wanted us to be. And I've always thought that wherever you go, you should try to make things better. And if you're given gifts, you should give back. And that's what really makes a community special. And so that's kind of what we've been committed to since we came a long time ago, and we're still committed to that. And we're glad to be here and glad to be able to partner with you, Lester, to try to move us forward.
We appreciate you. We appreciate not only your expertise in the business that y'all offer there, but also the community that you take care of. You're a partner of a lot of events that I go to. You give back tremendously to our community, and we certainly appreciate that. And we couldn't do it without great partners like you. So we certainly appreciate that. We look forward to a long relationship. We're going to be dependent on you just like you depend on us, because we know we can't do this alone.
Right. Together, we can make a difference. All of us working together can make a difference.
We can, that's right. Dr. Harper, tell us about some of the people that come to see you.
Well, if you kind of paint a picture of the patients that we see, a lot of them are discouraged about the way their legs feel because they have bulging varicose veins, unsightly spider veins, or leg swelling. They don't realize that they could feel better. They think a lot of them have no hope to be better. And it's interesting when they find out there's an opportunity. People ask, well, why do you share the message so much? Because people need to hear the message. And a lot of times, if they don't know that there can be help. And we also have another group of people who are frankly embarrassed about the way their legs look. They've had, with the spider veins, varicose veins, they tell us they haven't worn shorts or a swimsuit. They go to their children's events with long pants on when it's 100 degrees. I had one guy I worked on who had terrible varicose veins, awful looking legs. He played golf a couple of times a week. He was probably in his mid-60s when he came to me. We fixed his legs, and when he came back, he said, "This is the first summer I've been able to wear shorts playing golf."
Oh my goodness!
And in his adult life, so we help people make a difference in their life, and that's rewarding for us. But it's life-changing for them. Not only their quality of life, the ability to work, to play with their family, to be there for events, and that's kind of what we're here about: is to offer great service and value to patients that makes a difference in their life.
Wonderful. Well, Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us. This was a great conversation. And I know we're all looking forward to what you're going to accomplish in the rest of your term and likely a second term. Who knows? Thank you guys for joining us as well. Stay tuned to see where myself and Dr. Harper might show up. You never know where that might be.
I'm a respiratory therapist, 33-year-old mother of two, with one of my children having medical needs. I enjoy being outside with my family, and I enjoy riding horses as one of my personal pastimes. After having two children, my varicose veins were really painful, and I knew I needed help in order to keep up with my busy lifestyle. That's when I reached out to the only accredited vein center in Central Georgia, Vein Specialists of the South. Meeting with the VSS team, they listened to my concerns and developed a treatment plan perfect for me and my hectic schedule. During my procedure, I could tell the staff truly cared about me and what they do. The procedure was really quick. They put on my favorite music and made me feel completely comfortable the entire time. Recovery was easy, and I was glad I didn't wait. And most of all, it was covered by my insurance. Now, there's nothing stopping this mommy from living her best life. If you need vein care, I encourage you to call Vein Specialists of the South today.